Hello everybody and welcome on today's video. Today we are going to talk about this birch tree. I made a video some time ago about bending this straight trunk. So let's get a little closer to see what happens. So as you can see, tree's been growing quite well, and the roots are spreading out quite nicely, except for just this part here, where you probably can see that, well, there's something absolutely wrong here. We have a hole, and there's absolutely nothing growing here, so there should be a root. Well, there's not, but we can fix that, of course. And on the other side you can see that the trunk has been curving nice now, and well, the first thing I have to do now is remove these this rebar and these wires to see if the tree stays in position. So I must say I've been looking forward to do this because well, it's been some time now. So I'm just going to cut. There's still some tension, I can feel it, because when I cut it the bar moves. So this is okay. This piece of plastic did its job, and now I hope I don't have too much scarring under this whole construction. I used pieces of a tire of a bike to protect the bark. So now, well, as you see, we have some cutting in here, which looks kind of heavy. So I'm going to remove the other two now. So I'm not completely happy with the result, because as you can see here we have quite severe cutting in of the wire, and then above we have a quite consistent scarring of the whole trunk, even with a slight deformation here, as you can see that. And then we have a cutting in of the wire at this part. So you see, even if you are protecting the tree well, every manipulation will do some harm to the tree. So to keep this tree interesting, I was thinking about this as a front, because of the roots. This is a very nice root here, and this is a nice root, and then I have this nice curving, and we have some branching here. So the only problem is that there is no root here, but I think I'm just going to graft one, because this is a little seedling of a birch tree that I found somewhere in the garden. There are big birch trees here in the street, so you will find tons of them. So it's not too difficult, and this will fill the hole here in time. That's not a big deal. But another thing I wanted to do is some grafting, because well, I have some nice branching here already, and most of these branches, they already stay in position, except for these ones, the new growth you see in the tree. This was bent, and the new shoots, well, they go directly towards the light, but I let it grow because I wanted a quite consistent branch here, and I wanted something to graft. I would like to have a branch right about here, which might be an excellent idea because of this wound, so it will thicken a little more here. So a branch here maybe, I think, and maybe a branch here, and this because I need to close this wound that is here. I'll zoom in 1 second. So this is the wound that I was talking about. As you can see, the birch trees, they tend to callus over quite well, so that's an interesting thing to know. You need to give them some time. Because of the rebar, I was not able to reach this part of the wound, so it's still a little bump, but now that the rebar is gone, I will clean this up. So it's not that easy, that difficult to clean these things up. You don't need to have concave cutters, therefore you can use other material, depending what you have. But I think these are quite easy to use, so it's definitely one of my favorite tools. Okay, so now this is hollow. Another interesting thing is that, so you see, the callusing is here, and here, and here, and there's no callusing here. Why is that? Well, because it is not in a V shape. So we must make a V shape here in order to start the callusing from below. So it's just cutting away a part of the living tissue. And from here the callusing will be much more effective. So before I start the grafting, you can see that there is something not quite right here regarding the taper, and it's getting even more clear if I turn the tree a little, and you see that this whole part here is really problematic because of the taper. So I just have to cut the part away. And this is going to set me back for a few years maybe, but if I don't do it now, it will only get worse. So I have to deal with this and make this a little more even. And I must take in consideration that the callusing will bring some more tissue, so I have to go a little deeper. Now, birches are not the most easy trees to work with, and I don't know if this one is going to be a success, but I think these trees are so brilliant when they reach the maturity and they have this fantastic white bark. So I thought I'd give it a shot. So first of all, I want to say that I'm not an expert in grafting, because making real grafts is something extremely difficult, but there are other ways of making grafts, approach grafts, and that's quite easy. So what you want to do first is well, be sure where you want the new branch to come, and I said I would like it here. So This is deciduous trees. Deciduous trees don't grow branches in this direction, they grow branches up, and then eventually the branch will come down again. That's a possibility, but don't make graft that go this way. So the best thing to do that is to start your drilling where you want the branch to come out. So I think I'd like the branch to come out here. So I'm going to make a small hole with a 3mm drill. This will be the front of the tree. I marked this as the front here. And so I'd like to have the branch on the side, but maybe more a little at the back. So I want it to come out this way. Take your time to do this. So it's best to start with a small hole, and now taking a bigger drill. So of course the little hole will guide so that's one. I'm now cleaning up the removed bark that came loose with the drilling, because it will make it easier to insert the branch, and because I want to make two, I have to think a little about which one I'm going to use. This one is perfectly usable, and on the other hand I'd like to have a branch here, so maybe this one could be better used here, and in that case maybe this one could come here, or this one, which is a little thicker. So I think I'm going to go for this one. So I'm going to get rid of the little branches here and here. Could be nice if I manage to put this one too. See, the buds are already starting to swell, so this is really an appropriate time to do this. I'd like to stick the little branch here through the hole as well, so that works. If I can stick this one, it would be great, because there is a little bud here. It's starting to become a little more difficult because the hole is only as big as it is. Yeah, well, it passed. Okay, so here is a bud too. I think I'm going to damage that one. There's nothing I can do about that, but no, maybe it passed. It passed. Okay. So I'm going as far as I can. I think that's quite nice. So the good thing about that is that you can see the idea. If this branch starts to grow, well, it will swell here, and this hole in the trunk will callus over, and so there will be a fusion, and then at one point this will become thicker than this and the graft will be okay. So the more you can put it through, the better. So same here, it's going to be a little more complicated because I don't have a lot of room here, but I'd like to have a branch here because it will help the callousing of this part by attracting sap to this point. So this is going to be a delicate hole. I'm not sure if I'm going to make a 5mm here because this part is quite thin. So the 3mm hole is made, and I'm thinking of more something like 4mm because it's a quite thin part here. Okay. Now just taking the branch that should come through this. Well, this is going to work, I think. I have an obstruction here at the entrance, so just cut it away. There it is. So I'm just sticking the branch through the hole now. Gave the tree a little turn because it was difficult to see what I was doing. Okay, I'm pulling the second branch through. This won't work, so cut it off. So pushing and pulling at the same time. And that's what it's gonna be now. So this branches became very important because it's the mother branch for these new grafts. And maybe I'd like to have a last one here at the back. And this is going to be this branch. Which goes in fairly easy. So this is done. 1, 2, 3 new branches, all low branches. And this brings me directly to what I have to do on top, because you see the branches here became quite big, and this is going to be too top heavy. So if this is the front, this could well be the new front. So this is too much. Just getting rid of a whole of the outer. Here I can already start ramification. This is quite thick, so I'm going to cut back quite a lot. Here we have 3 branches emerging from the same place. This one is going down, so it's not interesting. This one is too thin, so it's not interesting. and this one is good. These are grafts. This is something that I'm not going to use. And there we have it. Just this one. Done. And now we have to repot this tree and graft this little tree here in this horrible hole.